We talk about cartoon villains a lot.
What?
So why don't we ever talk about Big Bob and Miriam?
In a minute, Olga.
No, I'm Helga, Dad. Helga.
Whatever. Go play outside, would you?
Seriously, hear me out. When you think about cartoon villains, you probably think of the likes of Mojo Jojo or Plankton. But what if the worst villains were hiding in plain sight? As parent, enter Helga Pataki from Hey Arnold, the kid who terrorized him by day.
Here you go, football head.
Thanks.
Hey. Sucker.
But worshipped him secretly by night.
Okay, so he doesn't like me, but he does like me. And that means I'm halfway there.
With a gum shrine that still haunts millennial nightmares. She was labeled the bully, the mean girl, the antagonist, but reality, so much sadder and so much deeper. As beautiful as the weird gum shrine was, there's a powerful story behind it. A story of childhood neglect, emotional survival, and parents who failed their child in almost every way. I'm Andriana, and this is where I overthink pop culture and nostalgia, so let's get into it.
So, you okay?
Sure.
Good, because tomorrow I'm gonna kick your butt. I think that went very well.
Helga Pataki probably seemed like the ultimate mean girl.
My way, fat boy! I would strangle you with my bare hands. That's it, granola girl. You're dismissed. And take this health crap with you.
Who can forget her secret obsession?
Arnold, my love, my sultry preteen, why must I hold you only whilst I dream? Arnold, you make my girlhood tremble. My senses all go wacky. Someday I'll tell the world my love. Oh, my name's not Helga G. Pataki.
I'm sorry. She said he made her what tremble?
You make my girlhood tremble? My senses all go wacky. Shut up!
As a kid, Helga was funny, weird, and honestly kind of relatable for me. Not the gum shrine, though, just to be clear. Not the gum shrine. Well, maybe, though. Listen, I never built a gum shrine. But did I have the capacity to be the kind of kid that would've? Yes. So. But have you ever stopped and wondered why Helga was like that?
I mean, just because we're staying in the same beach house doesn't mean we're suddenly friends or something. As a matter of fact, I still hate your stinking guts, so you better just stay the heck out of my way, got it?
Because behind every sarcastic bully or secret poet is usually something else going on. Maybe even something that we might have missed as kids. For Helga, the yelling, the bullying, even the shrine were kind of her way of coping. She built this tough girl exterior image because maybe being the mean girl felt safer than letting anyone see how lonely she really was. Poor baby, right? Again, it's too relatable. It turns out the biggest bullies in Helga's life weren't on the playground. They were actually at home, her parents. And if you think Helga was intense, just wait until you meet Big Bob and Miriam. Every villain needs a backstory. Here's Helga's.
We didn't have therapy when I was a kid.
Well, that's obvious, Bob.
I don't want you blabbing some school shrink. We Patakis don't talk about things. We sweep them under the rug.
Some things are best swept under the rug, Helga.
Whatever you do, don't blab anything or they'll give us all a one-way ticket to the funny farm. You got it?
I got it, Dad.
This never would have happened to Olga.
Oh, I know.
If you're thinking, hold up, those are her parents? Yeah, same.
And
Leave her alone, B. She's depressed.
It's been a whole day. She can't just lay around the house moping like that.
Sure she can. I do.
Well, it's not healthy.
Let's start with Miriam. Her signature move, smoothies.
Pass the Tabasco, dear.
Did you happen to see a collection of seemingly useless junk randomly arranged behind a curtain in my closet for no apparent reason?
Uh-huh, dear. I threw it all out.
What?
Now, I love a good smoothie as much as the next millennial. But let's be real, Miriam's special recipes always seemed a little less kale, spinach, mango, and a little more vodka. She spent most of her days in a foggy, smoothie-fueled haze, which was funny at first glance, but it actually hints at something deeper and something pretty dark for a kid's show. Then there's Big Bob. This guy runs a beeper empire. Do you remember beepers? So he runs a beeper empire, but he can't remember his daughter's name. Cool.
Are you trying to kill me?
Pipe down. You are out of control.
I'm allergic to strawberries! They give me hives! And I don't need any of this junk. Pig's feet? Yuck!
Hey. How am I supposed to know you don't eat pig's feet?
You don't know anything about me, Dad.
You're a kid. What's there to know?
Huh?
Oh, my chest, girl. I think your old man's having a coronary, Olga.
It's Helga, Dad.
Oh, crud, I'm gonna miss the wheel.
These moments were played for laughs, sure, but beneath the humor was something genuinely heartbreaking. As funny as Miriam's absent-mindedness or Big Bob's shouting actually seemed, this was the background music of Helga's life.
And us off the road, you left your purse on top of the car again, and we're stuck in the middle of nowhere. I'm 9 years old, Mom. You're the parent. You're supposed to take care of me, but you couldn't even do that. Face it, Miriam. You're a lousy mom.
And don't forget, Helga was a child. So think about how you'd feel if your parents constantly called you by your sibling's name or barely noticed when you entered a room. That stuff adds up, and Helga wasn't just being dramatic and mean, she was hurting. When you grow up in a home where you're invisible, you start believing that maybe you deserve to be ignored. It's easy to miss these signs as a kid, but as an adult watching back, it's pretty obvious. Helga's parents weren't just cartoonishly inattentive, they were quietly destructive and downright neglectful. And it's precisely this kind of subtle emotional neglect that leaves kids desperate to feel seen and heard and loved, even if they have to build a creepy gum shrine to do it. All right, so if you think that Big Bob and Miriam's neglect was bad, now we have to talk about their obsession with Helga's older sister, Olga, and how it took things to a whole new level. If you looked up golden child in the dictionary, you'd see Olga's perfect, stupid face. Smart, talented, adored. Okay, but here's the problem with golden child syndrome. For every kid who feels like they have to be perfect, there's usually another one who feels completely invisible. Imagine feeling like no matter how loudly you shouted, nobody is ever going to hear you, including your own parents.
And all you gotta do is win.
And then it's seemingly because somebody else is brighter, louder, more important. Someone else is always taking up all of the room.
She's won every spelling bee in the whole darn city. Makes me proud to be a Pataki.
Hey, who's taking me to preschool?
Yeah, in a minute, Olga.
No, I'm Helga, Dad. Helga.
Whatever.
Did you ever notice how Helga's anger and resentment peaked whenever Olga came home? It wasn't just sibling rivalry, it was a reflection of how invisible Helga felt at home. When your parents openly favor your sibling, you start believing that maybe you're just not enough. I mean, like, what else would that say? I was a big Hey Arnold fan as a kid. I was like the perfect age, I believe, for the show. And so I remember watching these episodes and thinking that Olga was really annoying. But now, reflecting, it's obvious that the Patakis didn't just fail Helga. They failed Olga as well by making her feel like her worth came from her achievements alone.
You must think I'm lucky. All the attention I get from them. I have to perform all the time like some kind of wind-up doll. I get really sick of it. You're lucky they don't even notice you.
Quick question, did you ever feel overshadowed by a sibling growing up? Because honestly, same. Or were you more of an Olga, feeling like perfection was the only way to be loved? Were you a Helga or an Olga? Let me know in the comments down below. I am definitely a team Helga all day. Helga all day. Helga dealt with neglect, invisibility, and a desperate desire to matter. So what do you do when your home environment is so toxic that it feels like you don't exist? Well, you might just latch on to the one person who does make you feel like you exist, even if that is a boy who shares his umbrella with you in preschool and then suddenly becomes the center of your emotional universe.
I'm going to preschool.
What do you know? 1 minute flat. You're amazing, Olga.
I'm going to preschool.
So nobody's ever noticed you.
There was someone.
Hi, nice bow.
Huh?
I like your bow because it's pink like your pants.
So you collect the gum and you build the shrine dedicated to the one person who has ever made you feel seen, Arnold, and his glorious football-shaped head.
Oh, Arnold, I call on the power of thy sacred shrine. Bastion of sanity in this crazy mixed-up world in which we live. How tender I feel when you brush past me. How I forget my cares. How the essence of you lingers, sweetening the air. And I...
Helga? Are you alright, honey?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Well, sleep well.
Yeesh. What a nutjob.
All right, speaking of the shrine, let's talk about the shrine.
Arnold, you idiot. I've always worn it. I've always loved you. My darling. My darling. Kiss me, my darling. Orso-shaped Prometheus, wandering the dismal deserts of my tormented soul.
Now, this wasn't just a cartoon crush. You can't convince me of that. This was a full-blown fixation, and it wasn't random. Arnold was the only person in Helga's life who ever truly made her feel seen. When they were kids, he shared his umbrella with her during a storm. One small act of kindness. And in a home where she was ignored and overlooked, or called the wrong name on a daily basis, that sweet moment mattered. It really mattered. So that's it. That's her origin story. Helga imprinted on that kindness like a baby duck, and she just never looked back. Do you know how some girls fall in love with someone just because the person was nice to them once? Yeah, well, Helga, she invented that. And no shade, because I might also fall in that category. So But beneath the shrine and the melodramatic poetry, there was a kid desperately trying to hold on to something that felt safe. Arnold represented the love that she didn't get at home. He was stability, gentleness, and let's be honest, a little boring, which probably felt really peaceful for someone who was used to living in a bit of chaos.
You know, Helga, I don't know why you always have to act so mean. Huh? You think you're so bad, but deep down, I don't think you are. In fact, I have a feeling you're probably a nice, normal, sensitive person. And maybe one day, you won't be so afraid to show it.
See, just Arnold, just vibing, sweater wearing, mild-mannered king of like emotional regulation. Helga's obsession was a coping strategy. When children don't get emotional safety from their parents, they'll find it wherever they can. And for Helga, that meant creating an elaborate, emotional, fantasy world, starring the one boy with his football-shaped head. Was it healthy? No. But was it understandably, unfortunately, yes.
If only there was some way I could let him know, some way I could whisper my secret adoring thoughts, soothe his fevered brow, and dare I even think it, kiss the lips that haunt my girlish dreams. Oh, only.
Helga? What are you doing down there?
Nothing, I just dropped a quarter, that's all.
A quarter?
Yeah, that's right. A quarter. Now go get me a milk and step on it, Phoebe. Hurry. Make it chocolate with a bendy straw.
Would I also write poems about a quiet boy who remembered my name and didn't yell at me from across the house? Possibly. And by possibly, I mean yes, absolutely, I would. Again, I am Team Helga. In the end, the gum shrine wasn't just creepy, though it was a little creepy, but it wasn't just creepy, it was a symbol, a monument to how badly Helga wanted to feel loved. She didn't need Arnold, but she needed parents who actually paid attention. And I think that's what makes Helga one of the most surprisingly complex characters in 90s cartoons. If you can think of someone else, let me know in the comments, but I think it's Helga.
I mean, what? What are you looking at, football head?
She was evidence that sometimes the meanest kid on the playground is the one that is hurting the most. And I do just want to caveat that by highlighting that I said on the playground, because we're talking about children. I don't think that same sentence applies to adults. Hey Arnold was ahead of its time. Craig Bartlett didn't just write episodes about city kids. He built a world that quietly reflected real emotional complexity. I mean, just think about Stoop Kid. I mean, we could do a whole video probably just on Stoop Kid, who's afraid to leave his stoop, and what was going on with him. But Helga's story isn't just entertaining, it's a masterclass in subtle storytelling. No dramatic monologues, no over-explained trauma, just the slow reveal of a little girl trying to survive the emotional minefield that was her home life. And what's wild is we all watched this as kids. On Nickelodeon, between commercials for Gushers and moon shoes. The emotional whiplash was real. I think this is yet another one of those things that makes us millennials the way we are. Because the emotional whiplash, maybe that's what made shows like this so powerful. They didn't need to shout to make a point. They actually did something. And by they, I mean these episodes, and Hey Arnold specifically, did something so ahead of its time in that it trusted us as kids to pick up on nuance. Or to come back years later and go, oh, wow, that's what that was. Helga's arc reminds us that there's always more going on beneath the surface. And sometimes the kid acting out the most is the one who most needs to hear, hey, are you okay? Next time you're scrolling through some sort of short form content and you see a clip of Helga calling Arnold a football head or pushing someone out of the way, remember the girl who just wanted to be seen.
What?
The one who built a shrine not just out of gum, but also out of longing, right? The kid who was doing her best to hold it together in a home where nobody was holding her. She wasn't just the mean girl, she was surviving. And honestly, that's what hits a little harder as an adult. So what about you? Did Helga's family feel a little too familiar to you? Were there any other kid shows that hit you differently now that you're grown? Let me know in the comments below because I would love to hear your take. And don't forget to tell me if you're team Helga or team Olga. I want to call her Holga. Team Olga. Helga or Olga. And hey, if you like slowing down and you enjoy reflecting, even just like about this kind of stuff, like things we consumed as a kid. So if you're a reflective person in general and you need a little extra help just slowing down, unplugging, getting away from the hustle and replugging into your values and your dreams and your passions and your purpose, then I write a cozy little newsletter called You Needed This. It's not about nostalgia, but it is about what we take from it. The link is below if you want to join us and get a little weekly pause in your inbox every week. And if you haven't noticed, this is a newer channel. I am a mom who is trying to grow this into like a little side hustle on the side. So if you enjoyed it, could you hit the subscribe button or even just the like button? Because it truly does help. And every subscribe and like is one more Lego in my kids' vast Lego collection. So help a mama out and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself, my friend. You look like you could use a nap. Why don't you go take a nap, friend? You deserve it.